Good morning, good afternoon, wherever you are watching us from. Welcome to Live with Chatufa. We are the Gospel of the Freedom of the Zimbabwean people, giving you updates of what is happening around us, in our nation, around our neighbors, and internationally. Still, the dynamics of South African politics still remains very, very tricky, as we see the issues of coalition still making quite a lot of noises and raising a lot of eyebrows. So we are still looking at the activities towards a settlement in terms of political stability in South Africa, which still seems to be a bit tricky and still far from being achieved. Fikile Mbalula fails to withstand opposition parties' pressure as the EFF gives him a run for his money. It seems the EFF is not budging. They are standing their ground and putting demands on the table and making sure that principles, according to what Floyd Shivambu said in the past, principles more than the need or the love for positions is what they are putting in place. But unfortunately, we are having two groups or different camps of people that are involved in these negotiations, while they are coming from different platforms. You know, people are looking at gains while some are looking at probably straightening up issues that have to do with governance. So these are the major issues that we are looking into in the South African politics. So we hear Fikile Mbalula speaking and explaining, sounding like a very bitter man on what is happening in terms of negotiations. And his mixed feelings, his mixed feelings. He has got feelings of also wanting to extend a hand. At the same time, he still has that other bossy attitude of thinking that it is him that calls the shots. And yet, this must be a win-win and a lose-lose situation where you have to gain something while losing other things, and also losing other things while gaining some. So there is a position of losing a certain part and winning another portion. If people get to that point, then they'll be able to get to the place of agreement. So it is still very, very tricky. And we are still also looking at the events that are leading to the parliamentary sitting, which has already started happening. And also very interesting is that the MK had vowed that they were not going to enter into parliament. So we are still going to be watching to see how far they will stand their ground in terms of what they had promised that they will do, especially looking at the issue of them losing the court case. The High Court case was dismissed for trying to stop the activities that are happening in parliament right on this very day. So I just want to take you quickly to the video of Mbalula speaking on the interactions with the opposition parties, and it seems he is much, much bitter about the reaction or their interaction with the EFF more than he speaks about other political parties. So let us just take a listen.
We've just come from a briefing as whatever was discussed with the president is brought to the table. My question goes back to is twofold. The first is the ANC's reflection of how these discussions, exploratory conversations, however you frame it, have actually had possible permutations at a provincial and a local government level. But again, the question that my colleague at Bloomberg asked, who is the president meeting with tonight? Because Julius Malema said that he's meeting with the president. Does this also include the DAs, John Stanley's?
The president has met with Julius Malema in Johannesburg yesterday. He has met with John Stesen. He's meeting with the leader of the IFP. He will meet with others that he will meet with if they deem it fit that they want to see the president. And that is what is important. We've got a negotiating team led by the Secretary General. We have met all political parties. We are not closing the door to anybody. What is discussed between closed doors, between leaders, is not the matter sometimes of public consumption, because you've got to respect each other. Those are the parameters. Because if you talk to somebody and then you then say, even before you reach an agreement, and then address the media and say, if the following do not happen, I'm not coming, and easy. So what are you trying to say? So who said that you will be engaged? We are negotiating, we are engaging with everybody, but not with the cap in the hand. There's nothing we beg from the EFF anywhere in the country. And we are engaging with them with decency. And if they treat us like as if we don't exist and we are addressed like that, we don't think that's the way for political parties to speak to each other. The ANC speaks even to a party with one man seat, because the moment you start to play big and become arrogant, that's not the nature of democracy and leadership. We might have talked things during the campaign and engaged, crisscross the country, criticize each other. The country has now spoken. Interpret that moment and decide. We have done that. This is not the time to be telling somebody whether he's relevant or irrelevant. The question is that the people have spoken and they've said, we don't give you an outright majority. So what do you do about it? The ANC must go all out here, throwing tantrums against EFF and everybody else. The moment require us to sit around the table and talk. If the discussions are going to be deadlocked by transactional issues that happened at local government level, it's a choice of a political party that it makes, and I can't pronounce on that. I'm neither a spokesperson of the EFF or its fan.
So there we have it. When you look at what has been happening from the beginning, we've been listening to Mbalula giving updates on issues concerning the coalition and the discussions leading to coalition. You'd find that all the time, you'd always complain mostly about the EFF than he would ever complain about the DA. We've never heard Mbalula coming out lambasting the DA. And our question is, why taking a soft stance on the DA more than that he is doing with the EFF? Or is something amiss somewhere? Are we missing something, or what really is transpiring underground? So it seems that they have just developed a soft spot for the DA. This is why we are hearing that the DA is the one that looks like is getting, into the very right seat of finally being the partner of this coalition. So we are still watching to see what is going to be the final end, but the result has not been clearly said out exactly what is transpired. But after this parliamentary sitting, we'll need to be watching and looking at what will be happening exactly, because we need to see the progress that is happening in the South African politics by the expression of maturity in our politicians. We need our politicians not to continue to be blabbering and blabbering all around. We need them to get to a point where they sit down and talk and come up with the ways and means of helping the nation to prosper. Otherwise, this is what is happening. Family, I'm going to apologize for what happened yesterday. We had a power cut until this early this morning. So all the shows of yesterday were not possible. And I think I am going to be trying so hard to bring them in. So I have quite a lot of shows on my hand right now. The shows for today, the shows for yesterday, which were not done. And I'm seeing if I can fight to bring them all to you. I will try. So some of the shows, I'm not going to be reading the comments. I'm going to be just talking, and then I cut them out so that probably we could push, because I also have a program also today that has nothing to do with the Chatufa production, something else aside that will have to be taking about 3 hours of my time today. But I wish I could push through all the shows that were supposed to be done yesterday. Remember, I was promising you on what we were going to be talking about, the Wicknell issue and what is happening and what is behind the scenes, the big block of the whole story. So don't worry, it's going to be coming, and everything is going to be lined up. Did I not have this other program that is going to be taking about 3 hours of my time? I'm sure I was going to push until the time we do the 7:30 bulletin. I could have done almost all shows. So I have about 14 shows that are on my shoulder right now, and I don't know what to do with myself. I wish I could split myself into two, and I have one on live with Chatufa and another piece at Chatufa TV production, and running the shows at the same time. So otherwise, no, bear with me. I will try my best to give you all the updates as I had already planned them. So for your comments, maybe one or two shows I may read comments, or if I see a comment that I think is might need really to be put on the screen, then we would be talking about those. So otherwise, allow me to cruise so that I can be giving the updates that I have. Thank you so much, family, for joining me on the show. Remember, for all those that have not yet subscribed to this channel, please do so. Support the Gospel of the Freedom of Zimbabwe by putting your pressing the subscribe button, and also putting a like and a comment. Thank you so much. I can see quite a lot of people. Sekuru Bogo is here, Evidence, Tyrese are here, Gogo Ngube are here, Mantimang, my sister Judith, and Ajname. Join me in the coming show. Still on this platform, I'm bringing you more and more updates. Don't go away. Remain blessed.